moving abroad, you learn different things.
What we're really trying to do here is to give Filipinos a chance to graduate with a foreign degree.
Do give it a try. It could be life-changing.
But it's good. It's a good learning and growing experience.
I think I become more responsible and determined and driven.
To me, how it changed, basically just stepping foot in the UK already changed my life. I met different people, the diversity of people you meet, the experiences you learn, the type of jobs I've been. You just learn from every step. You learn to be independent because mom and dad's not around.
If that's the opportunity, grab it, because once you get here, there's a lot of opportunities.
To me, I think it's about being positive. And if you're scared about taking that step to actually move abroad and have these different questions in your head, saying, oh, what if this happens? What if I don't pass? What if I don't adapt? And then just think about what if it works? Because moving abroad, you learn different things. You are out of your comfort zone, and you have to do things your way. You learn to be independent, make your own decisions, be your own person. You apply for a job, and then you just do things yourself. And you learn to express yourself in your purest form.
Yeah, if you come here with an open mind, I think, and if you give it a chance, you'll know pretty quickly if it's for you. But do give it a try, because potentially it could be, for lack of a better word, life-changing.
Can someone pass me a pen?
Sure. Can you pass this to Stephen?
Of course.
Thank you. That's really nice, guys. Not the 8th time we've done it already.
Is that for the presentation? Pwede pa send naman ng pic na ito-drawing natin?
Ito, sige. I'll send to the GC. And sent. Ayan na.
Got it. Thanks, so.
Sorry about that. Just testing the music. Is the volume good? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, do I send the link to Pat now?
Yeah, go ahead. Video's off, everyone.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Happy first Zoom meeting, Pat!
Pat, you're muted.
Oops, sorry.
Final 54. Three. Very good.
Can you put it here?
Ayos na. Never mind. Mali ang pagka-stretch naman.
Moving abroad, you learn different things.
What we're really trying to do here is to give Filipinos a chance to graduate with a foreign degree.
Do give it a try. It could be life-changing.
It's good. It's a good learning and growing experience.
I think I become more responsible and determined and driven.
To me, how it changed, basically just stepping foot in the UK already changed my life. I met different people, the diversity of people you meet, the experiences you learn, the type of jobs I've been. You just learn from every step. You learn to be independent because mom and dad's not around.
If that's the opportunity, grab it, because once you get here, there's a lot of opportunities.
To me, I think it's about being positive. And if you're scared about taking that step to actually move abroad and have these different questions in your head, saying, oh, what if this happens? What if I don't pass? What if I don't adapt? And then just think about what if it works? Because moving abroad, you learn different things. You are out of your comfort zone, and you have to do things your way. You learn to be independent, make your own decisions, be your own person. You apply for a job, and then you just do things yourself. You learn to express yourself in your purest form.
Yeah, if you come here with an open mind, I think, and if you give it a chance, you'll know pretty quickly if it's for you. But do give it a try, because potentially it could be for lack of a better word, life-changing.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. This is Joel Santos, President of FEMS International Business School. It's so nice to see everybody today on a Wednesday. Before we start, magdasal muna po tayo. So, prayer first. Thank you. Okay, game na. Magandang umaga. Meron na akong hello. Hi. Hi, Antolin. Thanks for saying hello. Good morning, Margaret. Okay. Question number 1. Sino ang first timer dito? First one to actually join a FEMS gathering of our community, of our mga... Okay, let me check. Sino? Si Brenda, first time. Okay, who else is first time? Sarah's first time. Shirley, good morning. Margaret, first time rin si Margaret. Okay, good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Winsol. Good morning, Margaret. Sino pa ba? Okay. So I assume majority either came from our training workshops that were either sponsored by DTI or other corporate sponsors. But it's good to see you again. So for those who don't know, we have this community gathering among the FEMS community who's gone through the different... Kumbaga, ito yung mga kasama namin pong tayo po yung nagkasama during the pandemic and doing pivoting. Tama ba po yan? Right? We were all together during the pandemic. Oh, Ma'am Alma of DTI Sydney, hello again, right? Kamusta po dyan? Sinarado na rin sa DTI Sydney. Yung mga kasi yung mga kaibig. Kasi, TEMS has a partner school in Sydney, which is the Academy of Entrepreneurship. And na-lockdown na rin kayo. So, okay, question. Morning question. Food tayo ngayon, food. So with that, the first thing I'd like you to put is, again, what area are you from? And then your favorite food. Yan. Warm up po na tayo. Give us where you're coming from. Si Mayan, go and grow. Way to go, di ba? Lagay niyo yung area nyo, tsaka favorite food. Put it on the chat box. Oh, Michelle from DTI Region 1. Good morning. We should do more things in... So Lipa, si Len is from Lipa and then go to Lomi. Ako, ang sarap-sarap ng Batangas, Lomi. Pag nagbibisikleta ako, yun ang hinahanap ko. Si Jennifer, Camarines Norte. What's your favorite food, Jennifer? Lagay mo na rin. Si Sarah's from Ross City. Siyempre, seafoods. What else can you say? From Bohol, chocolate. Sarap po nung Chocolate Hills sa Bohol. Natikman niyo na ba po yan? Di ba? Wala akong ano eh. Next time nagko-corny joke ako, dapat meron akong canned laughter sa likod. Can we set that up next time? So, Bicol, all spicy foods. Siyempre, Jensan, salad. Wow, salad with seafood, perfect. Si Jennifer, burgers. Jennifer, taga saan ka? Diba? Kurt, Laguna, buko pie. Yes. Laguna pa, let's not forget the cheese, diba? Quezon Puti. Quezon City, shrimp pasta, of course. Margaret, thank you. That sound a bit more sophisticated because we're from Quezon City, right? Banawe QC dim sum, especially. Ang dami-dami pumusarap na Chinese restaurant sa... Diyan po ako lumaki, somewhere in the Banawe area. So, thanks, Michael. From Bohol, si Gerson, litsong rabbit. Adobo and litsong rabbit. Wow. Parang, I'm sure masarap yan, pero it's hard to imagine nakakainin mo si Bugs Bunny. Pero anyway, when I go to Bohol, Gerson, I will look for that litsong rabbit, right? Sel Ann Mandaluyang, what's your favorite food? Winsol, Laguna, lechon manok. Yes. Cavite, embutido. Thanks, Ana. Sa Baliwag, salad. Okay, hindi pala lechon manok, no? Si Ruben from Baclayan, Bohol, kare-kare. Of course. Tacloban City, seafood. Yes. Thank you, Antolin. Makati, lasagna. Yan. Bacoor, Cavite, food, breads, cakes, and pastries. Thanks, Romeo. Ilocos, sir, sinanglaw. Mark, ano yung sinanglaw? Can you put it again in the chat? The first time I've heard about that. Be interesting to know. From Camille Singson. Siyempre, Camille, vegan langgonisa. I-advertise mo na rin yung binibenta mo. Hi, Camille. By the way, I came from Baguio last weekend and I realized because of the T-Plex, mas malapit na to get to Ilocos. So, yan. It's part of my trip. Cebu City Burgers. Okay. Thanks, Stanley. Celian Desserts. Celia, where are you from? Put it there, please. Sa Dasma, Cavite, Renato, pad thai and sushi. Pretty good. From Bohol, Angelina. Okay. Yan po yan. Marikina, Japanese food. Hi, Paz. Paranaque, maraming favorite si Fritz. Hindi maka-choose. Si Mylene is saying dinuguan. Alam mo, Mylene, dinuguan is one of my favorites before sinabihan ako na may gout ako. So, goodbye dinuguan, right? Santa Rosa, Laguna, ramen. Okay. Kainta, bread and pastries. Paranaque, beef udon. Very specific. Adobo Mountain. Si Brenda from the Mountain Province, adobo. Alam niyo yung Mountain Province rice na medyo malagkit? I bought that in Baguio when I went to Hill Station. Ang sarap ha. The black rice pero malagkit. You guys should try it. From Rizal, adobo. Mac, thank you. Nueva Ecija, sisig. Thank you. Okay. Nako, sobrang dami. Okay. Organs. Si Mark Carlo is from, saan ka ba? Local beef soup, organ of the cow. Ano ba yan? Soup number 5 ba yan, Mark? Nakatikim na ako niyan. Okay rin yan, you know, soup number 5. For those who don't know it, you need to try it. From Silang, Cavite, Ilocos Empanada. Joanne. Camille, kita mo na, from Cavite, ang favorite nila yung Ilocos Empanada. Sinanglaw. Ilocos Sur. Dalawa na po yung nagsabing sinanglaw. Paki-describe naman po what sinanglaw is. First time I've heard about that. Hahanapin ko yan next time. Okay, cool. Let's go start. Si JJ Cosculuela Inasal. Okay. Pag-uusapan po natin ngayon ay food. So for those who are first-timers, these things that we're doing is really just part of our setback to come back. Kasi nga, ang dami nating pinagdaanan and we just want to share stories on the setback to come back. That's why we invite panelists. Now, at the same time, just to tell you the format, casual lang po tayo kasi para tong networking event. So while we are talking to the panelists, make sure that if your business fits the panelists, you put it in the chat group and make sure you talk to the panelists and then you can do your own private chats. At the same time, mamaya ilalagay po natin ang mga negosyo natin sa chat group so that if somebody was interested to do business with you in your region, then do so. Ang nangyayari po, every time we have this webinars or we call it a live cast, aside from the learning, nagiging networking event. So later on, I'm gonna tell you, ilagay nyo po yung negosyo nyo in your region, tapos makikita nyo, somebody will actually send you a private message na let's do business. Di ba? That's the whole point. Hindi lang tayo basta makikinig dito. You have to get something out of this thing. And the one that I want you to get out of this thing is knowledge and networking opportunities. Kailangan, time is so important. Every time we come together, we should gain something beyond knowledge. So yan po ang differentiation natin. So yung mga first-timers, I'm looking forward to having more of you. Okay. So, Jocelyn, thank you for putting something on the Q&A. So ganito yan ha. Sa chat, iba sa Q&A. So Q&A, ilagay nyo na po yung mga questions while the panelists are happening para tuloy-tuloy tayo. Okay, now I'm gonna start by introducing the panelists. Alam niyo po, hindi ako happy today kasi puro women po, ako lang yung men, di ba? Wala ba tayong magaling na restaurateur na na lalaki? Adolf, di ba? Si Sir Adolf Aron po, he arranged all of our speakers today. Puro po beautiful and talented women. Wala po tayong men today. Pagagalitan po tayo ng gender equality. But anyway, I will enjoy the fact that I'm with very, very successful women who have been able to thrive during the pandemic. So unahin natin. Let me introduce Steffi Santa Ana. Lola Nenes Pichi Pichi, di ba? Purveyor of the wildly popular triple cheese donuts. So she's also the chief marketing officer of this company. She has done sensational, she's been promoting the products on TikTok. Very good. You know, I just saw a Heineken commercial yesterday. If you compare the Heineken views in YouTube, mas marami pa sa TikTok. So you can actually see the power of TikTok. And she actually, one of the things that she does is that she loves storytelling. So si Steffi is a marketer and obviously a chief marketing officer and somebody who has done well for the family business Lola Nenas. Hi Steffi, can you say hello please?
Hello.
Steffi?
Hi, sorry.
Hi. There.
Hello.
Thanks, Steffi. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to call you back later to talk about yourself.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, I could hear you. So thank you. And I'll call you back later to talk more about what you do. Hi. Okay, next on the list is Gabrielle Borromeo. Okay, she owns CSI Filipinas. Yeah, CSI Filipinas. Okay. Hindi na po tayo mahirapan mag-English kasi yung spelling niya is the right way. Alam niyo, ang tatay ko po, ang lahat ng P ng tatay ko F. Di ba? So, yung P naman ng ng tatay ko nagiging F. Di ba? So, pag sinabi niyang, instead of saying, paki-peel naman yung orange, sasabihin, paki-feel naman yung orange. So, commission ako, confused ako. So, Filipinas, di ba? Very Pinoy. So, si Gabe is grew up in a foodie environment with her mom and her grandma. So ang kanyang company is CSI Filipinas. So it's promoting Filipino food one province at a time. So she's actually something really interesting later. We're from all over the country, di ba? From Luzon all the way to Mindanao. And the fact that you're here, you want food. So you are into food. So Steffi is actually promoting Filipino food one province at a time. I'm gonna ask her about it more. But for now, say hi first. Steffi, si Gabrielle. Gabrielle, say hello to everybody, please.
Hi, I'm here. If you can hear me.
How's your video coming along? Are you gonna have a hard time with that later? Okay, there. Okay, cool. Thanks, Gabrielle. And then so later, she will be talking to us about what CSI can do, di ba? To help promote Filipino food. Thank you. Next is Ria Sisip. Okay, the fatted calf. So she's Chef Ria Sisip, started her career at age of 21, food and beverage. She was actually a corporate chef for a chain of Australian cafes. And now she is living with her husband in Tagaytay. They're doing a farm-to-table restaurant. And the fatted cow, she's the executive chef of the fatted cow. And at the same time, she makes her own brand of cakes called Flower Pot Manila. Hi, Ria. Say hello to the...
Hi. Good morning.
Good
Nice to be
morning.
with you, everyone. Thank you.
Baka you can turn on your video. May nag-hello na sa'yo, si Fritz Weber already said hello to you. Hi, Rhea. Okay, there. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Are you related to Washington CCIP?
My husband is.
Ah.
Hindi ako.
Your husband is what? Pamangkin or?
Apo.
Ah, apo na. Okay. Okay, he's someone I admire a lot. He was my ninong in my kasal. You know, so he's a very close idol. So one of the stalwarts of Philippine business, right? So see, lastly, thank you, Ria. Then I will ask you about more about that later. Carla Zulweta. She's a 30-year-old entrepreneur who graduated. She's the founder of Aperitif, di ba? The pioneer of art of grazing in the Philippines. Interesting. And the world-famous grazing box. Yeah, she's the inventor of that. She also co-founded Pizulu, a brick oven pizza delivery service. And one of her passions actually is quantum physics and law of attraction. Very interesting. So she's studying this new age of living for almost 10 years, hoping that one day she can be a living example of what you can reach all your desires and dreams through the power of the mind. Wow. So use the power of law of attraction to get people to buy your products. Hi, Carla. Can you say hello?
That's right. Good morning, Joel. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Turn on your video, please. Yeah, so that they can all see. There. Yes. Good, cool. Thank you, Carla. Okay, cool. So guys, all very talented, successful women. I'm surrounded by them today. Great. So let's start it off by, may mga nag-raise na ng hand. Okay, why are you raising your hand? But anyway, so you've already seen, start putting in your questions, and now we're going to start putting in your questions in the Q&A. So chat po, comments, and talk about your business. But already, just based on the profile of our panelists, mukhang there's going to be a lot of good networking opportunities. So let's start off with Steffi. Steffi, give us naman a short kwento of how the year was with you, your challenges, and how you're able to overcome it. And tell us a little bit, of course, about Lola Nenas, right?
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Steffi Santana from Lola Nenas. The past year has actually been really good for Lola Nenas because of the pandemic, we had a chance to, a little bit of background lang. Lola Nenas is a takeout store and we specialize in merienda items. Everything is takeout lang, walang dine-in. So when the pandemic, we were prepared in a sense where yung business model namin is really something that was built for this type of pandemic. So we were ready on Grab, we were ready on Food Panda, and that gave us a chance to be seen by people. So during the time when everybody had to close, we decided not to. And because we were one of the only people that stayed open, a lot of customers got to try us for the first time. So that was really where everything started.
What's your bestseller?
Our bestseller is the triple cheese donut.
Yes, I haven't tried. I've tried your peachy peachy, but I haven't tried your triple cheese donuts. Meron pala kayong triple cheese donuts, no? You know, the only thing about a virtual thing, hindi natin matikman yung mga offerings, food pa naman to. So later on, Steffi, Carla, Rhea, and Gabriel, if you have pictures, you can show it on the screen. So parang at least we'll let people see what you guys have. So Steffi, you said you actually rose in sales. One of the biggest fatalities na lang of the pandemic are actually restaurants, diba? We all know that. And the fact that the four of you are here, anything in the food business tinamaan if they were not able to pivot. So how did you pivot into, were you already selling online before the pandemic? Or was it your first time?
We weren't heavily online. So because of the pandemic, nobody was outside, and that was the only way people would buy from us that day because we're a corner bakery. So we really relied heavily on foot traffic. But when the traffic disappeared, we had to be available somewhere. So we went all in social media and in the internet last year. So that really made a big difference for us.
So how many branches did you have?
We had like 7
before the pandemic, okay?
and we opened 4.
So you kept 4 open, you closed the 3. And so you were
we opened 4 more stores the second half of last year.
You opened 4 more. So from 7 plus 4.
Yes.
Wow.
Actually 5. I'm sorry, 12 na now eh.
So 12 na now. So actually you opened pa. Galing, galing, galing. So
yeah.
Ayan, sabi, Camille already said she loves, di ba, your food. Okay, question. When you had to go online, what was your most effective way of reaching new customers?
I think, well, a lot of it, in the beginning, it was through Facebook ads because we weren't that good in creating content yet. A lot of the, I learned a lot from Carla, actually. She's here right now. So her brands are really big on social media. So I talked a lot with her and like, how can Lola Nena's Corner Bakery be in the internet? Kasi parang hindi naman kami bagay. Corner Bakery na nasa internet. We thought hindi talaga bagay. And then she was like, no, everybody has a place in the internet. So that was really kind of like a light bulb moment. Like maybe we do have a place in the internet. And when we started creating better creatives, like we were coming out with like fun photos, fun videos, that was really the time when people started taking notice sa brand.
So it was all DIY, but you got help from a friend. So, one of the things I'd like to share, diba? In this pandemic, you really need to get help from friends.
100%. It's like people that are kind of leaders in their field, and there's a lot of them, and usually they're willing to help you. I got lucky with Carla because she's one of my best friends, so parang she really helped me, but I think there's a lot of them out there that are willing to help.
Okay,
I just remember that day when Steffi made me try her donut, and I remember I told her, Steffi, this is going to be $1 billion peso donut. And
she said that, and I was like,
I really said,
you're just binubola pa lang ako, Carla.
And next thing you know, she's making 60,000 donuts a day. So
wow, sige, galing. So why don't I segue now to Carla? Carla, tell us a little bit about yourself.
It's Carla's so she called it in the universe din. Malakas kasi yung powers niya. So malakas siya sa universe.
I told you.
Sige. So na-intro na Carla has helped Steffi during this time, right? So actually, Carla, tell us about, you're doing so many things, no? Can you tell us a little bit about what you do aside from the oven pizza delivery? It's called Pizulu, right?
I have aperitif just founded 4 years ago. We started the Graze Box trend in the Philippines. I'm not sure if you've actually gotten a Graze Box. This is a well-curated cheese and cold cuts box. I don't know if you've had one of those sent to you as a gift. But basically, when we launched that 4 years ago, it was copied worldwide, not just in the Philippines, but worldwide.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Later, show a picture of that, Carla.
Actually, if the participants can follow us in aperitif_ph on Instagram.
Okay. Put that on the chat group, and then we'll make sure that they all follow you later. So please put that in the chat group after we discuss it. Remember, it's a networking thing. So you started this grazing box. Okay, so it's...
And then we aperitif blew from Graze Box. It became the grazing tables. So it's the pre-pandemic. We were heavy on catering and doing grazing tables for clients. And then during the pandemic, we started Pizulu, which is a brick oven pizza brand. So we started with just the idea on a dinner table with me and my sisters. So they are my partners here. As you can see, the name is Pizulu, it's Zulueta, like our last name. So we started with a 20 square meter commissary. And after 4 months, we moved to a 600 square meter commissary. And tomorrow, we're actually starting to seal a new BGC location or second branch for this year. And so there, aside from that, I am the co-founder of Sundowners Vacation Villas in Bolinao, Pangasinan, and Zambales. So I also have like a resort business.
Perfect. Now, Carla, while others were closing during the pandemic, si Steph rin nag-expand, ikaw rin you open. So, what opportunities did you see during the pandemic? That's why I said, sige, I'll go for this. While the others got scared, sasarado na ako. So, suddenly, what made you say, hey, I will open up more?
So with Aperitif, pre-pandemic, we're very heavy on catering, right? So imagine when we closed down, we had to close for a month because that was a time of heavy ECQ. And we were like, okay, I think we are prepared to open something and still do cloud kitchen and still do deliveries, because that time we still have a lot of packaging that are stored in the warehouse. So we were not very heavy on deliveries, but we had products and we had sufficient enough of packaging to be able to partake in the delivery system during the pandemic, delivery demand during the pandemic. So, and it just so happened that Aperitif is one of the most followed social media stars in the food industry in the Philippines. We already have around 120,000 followers online with 4 million impressions on social media monthly. So we actually have
kompleto si Carla sa data. She can
data.
see she's really a digital marketer. Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of reach and in terms of social media presence, which is your number one best friend during this pandemic, we were already ready. So we had the website, we had the clientele. People are used to getting us through Instagram, through Facebook, through the website. So from launching, so we just launch new products. So every month we keep on launching new collections. We hired a team of pastry chefs that gave more top-notch products that can go viral.
So Carla, in other words, you're already heavy on your social media presence, right? So before the pandemic. So with the pandemic, in a way, it was a blessing.
Yes.
Because you're able to expand it, and then the rest of the competitors, like the ones who copied you, medyo nawala in a sense, di ba?
Yes, they were. I think when we launched 4 years ago, we had around 200 copycats, and now when I see them, it's like I think they all vanished. So branding is the name of the game here at the end of the day. Yes.
Actually, just to add, when you have a strong brand, no matter what the crisis is, it will actually lift you up. And just to share the Thames experience, we've been online since 2018. So when the pandemic happened, in a way, it was good for us. I don't know if most of you know, it was hard to get students during the pandemic. So Thames became the school for schools. My students became other schools who wanted to learn online. So that was our own pivot. So as Carla nga mentioned, when the brand, the pandemic, if you have a certain strength of being online, it just enhances your strength. So for those naman who were not online, you had to convert to online right away. So we'll go back to this conversion, because I'm getting a lot of, these are the questions of some of the people who how to actually move online. So we'll go back. Thanks, Carla. Now, let's go to Gabrielle. Okay. So Gabrielle, growing up in a foodie environment, tell us a little bit about CSI. Investigative, no? The name is investigative.
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm Gabriel Borromeo Sawadajczyk. I just got married to a Polish
Congratulations.
citizen, so that's why my last name is a little harder than usual. I started CSI exactly a year ago this month. And
wow. Okay.
CSI,
Born in the pandemic. Okay. Interesting.
yes,
Okay.
it was born in the pandemic. And CSI stands for Culinary Scene Investigator. I get confused with investigation, investigator. But I come from a family of writers. My mom is a journalist and a lawyer. So, and my dad is also a journalist. We wrote for the Daily Tribune newspaper. So pre-pandemic, we would always be in events. We would always attend different restaurants just to try them. And so we also had friends that were writers. So we formed a group called CSI. So before it was just a group, and we would try different food, and we would curate them, and we would critique them. And during the pandemic, I suddenly realized that there was a potential in building a store because of all the things that we had at the moment. So during the pandemic, we did not really think of creating CSI, but we live right at the corner of Canlaon and Don Manuel near
Okay.
Banawe.
Yes,
So a lot of people go jogging there, and we're right beside Lourdes Church. So there was this time that I ordered jumbo eggs. It's really big eggs with double yolks. And I ordered, of course, when you order from the farm, because we had a connection with that farm, they cannot deliver just a tray of eggs. So they delivered about 36 trays of eggs. So at first, I messaged people online and asked them if they wanted to buy from me. And the feedback was good, but of course, it's still different to have foot traffic as well. So when I had a lot of trays of eggs, I was worried, like, these are eggs, you have to sell them as soon as possible. And you have to make sure that it's properly maintained. It can't be in the heat. And I didn't know what to do because I wasn't that professional in online selling yet. It was just the beginning. So I didn't know how to reach a whole market. And I decided to open the gates of our house and just put a tray of eggs there. And surprisingly, a lot of customers came. And, because of the pandemic, people couldn't really go out. They like going to the neighborhood. They like seeing what the stores beside them had, or the neighborhoods beside them had. So when they saw we had jumbo eggs, they constantly came in the morning to pick them up. And then at the same time, my ninong, godfather, started a pandesal business called Pandelitos, which is famous there in Pasig. So I also ordered pandesal. So now it was like eggs and pandesal. So it was just like a small community thing that ended up blowing up really well. So people came for breakfast, pandesal, and eggs. And then later, people who thought the pandesal was puto kalashao wanted to order puto kalashao, which we didn't have. So we also looked for another supplier for puto kalashao, until eventually we had like this mini grocery of different delicacies. That's why I started to say, okay, CSI is really long, so I should name it like Filipinas. Kasi feel natin. And it's a lot of Filipino products, So that's how the business started, from eggs to pandesal to puto kalashao, and then suddenly we had like a long list of longanisas from different provinces of the Philippines, because we couldn't also do groceries anymore. We had to order online and source from different companies and from different provinces, and we all brought them here. So because of that, we were able to.
And you're selling them all online? You say, how many products do you carry now from different provinces?
Right now we probably have 100 plus.
100. And then you're selling them all online?
No, we have, like I said, we opened the house. So,
yeah, so there's is it both online?
Right now we have 3 branches. We opened up here in Canlaon, and then we have one in Banawe, in Alcaraz, and then now we have one in Sampaloc.
So you are a physical facility, and that's where everybody comes to get the products.
Yes. Okay. But we also have a big following online already.
And so how do you deliver to them?
Sometimes I make promotions like free delivery if it's with 2 kilometers within our area. And sometimes if it's along the way, I say, okay, we can deliver. But mostly it's through courier, Grab, Lalamove, which makes it so convenient for a lot of customers.
So thank you, Gabriela. So we've finished three already, Steffi, Carla, and Gabriela. So guys, you can send them messages, put it in the chat, so that if you want to actually connect with them, put it in the chat, start doing it, because that's really part of the networking. So you already know what Steffi does, what Carla does, and Gabriel does. But please, when you put the chat, try to make it a message for everyone, because it's coming in to me as only to the panelists. We'd like to see everybody's questions so that we can all learn from it. Okay, thanks, Gabriel. Okay, last but not the least, Ria, Chef Ria. So corporate chef, di ba? Were you based in Australia before coming back? So maybe
just here locally lang.
okay,
Just
but you were managing that. Okay, so this is great. Somebody who were you living in Manila and you decided to move to Tagaytay? And tell us about this whole thing about farm to table, the fatted calf. Yeah.
Well, speaking of farm, so I apologize if you will hear chickens in the background. So that's something I cannot control. So we are here in Silang. The fatted calf, actually, listening to these ladies, it's very inspiring how they started. But for us, it's actually a very interesting business on how we started this. The fatted calf actually opened 2019. But it was just 6 months shy after the first volcano eruption. So we not only that we were faced with the pandemic, but also with 2 volcanic eruptions already. So it's something that's very difficult. Now looking back, we didn't even realize that I'll be here speaking to you, because we didn't realize that we could actually open after that. So the Fatted Calf is a farm-to-table restaurant. My husband and I operate it. So my husband's working, well, my background is I'm a hot kitchen chef, but here, well, he's my boss. So he's the one running the kitchen and I'm running the pastry department. So I'm the one in charge of the desserts. We are sourcing everything almost locally, but before there was a notion that if it's local, then it's not good. But now, actually, you'll be surprised. You will find a lot of premium items that are all local. And we've been working with farmers. We've been testing recipes even before we opened. We've been working with farmers for the past year and a half before we opened last July. So it was a good start. For the first 6 months, we were actually, well, we were chosen to be one of the best restaurants to open in 2019. And it was really, we thought that it was a good start for us, and in terms of marketing and putting the brand out there, it will be very good. So we were able to enjoy that first week of January, and then the volcano erupted. And we were able to open the restaurant again, after collecting 70 sacks of ash just on the roof alone.
Wow.
We were able to open it February, just in time for Valentine's, because everyone's asking us to open it already, and everyone thinks that we were ready for it. And just for us to open, most of our regulars, they came up here, they helped us out with their power washers. Our VIP guests who don't even wash a single plate in their lives came here, washed down the walls, and just for us to reopen, just encourage us, to push us to open. So we did.
Yan ang loyal customers, di ba?
Super. And
they brought the word loyalty to a different level.
And it was and we realized that it's not just a restaurant, but it's a community. And these people are from Manila. And at the time, it doesn't look good here. It was really bad. Our place, the restaurant's actually off the beaten track. It's not along the major road. We are a stone throw away from Tagaytay, but you still have to navigate your way in. And it will be difficult if you don't have Waze installed on your phone. So we were able to open Feb, and then a month after, the first lockdown was announced.
Okay.
So it was the timings, I would say, would be different and very difficult in terms of operating a restaurant. But you know, we were just blessed that even during the pandemic, in the midst of everything, we were, and I'm also handling I have my own pastry shop. Well, it used to be online, but it turned out, I would say, the pandemic in terms of our business turned out to be very good for us. And we were able to open one physical store here in Tagaytay as well. So
Okay.
it was the fatty cup and flower pot. So that's my pastry shop. We're serving the same cakes and the same philosophy. So we're using everything premium. We're using free range eggs. We're getting everything from, and we know the farmers. Even the dairy, we're using organic butter. So that's the whole philosophy and the whole concept of the business that we have, right?
Okay, so we have very interesting. If you can take a look at our panelists, they all have different backgrounds and different things that they're doing. You have a farm to market. You have one that actually represents many products, not just theirs. Then, of course, you have somebody who's just working on their two originators, which is Carla, Steffi. Actually, everybody originated with one main product first and then started expanding into different things, right? So before I continue on with the questions, I'd like to do a quick check. Who among our participants today are just going to start a food business, okay? And I would assume everybody else is already in the food business. So if you can put in the chat box, sino ang papasok pa lang sa food business? Right? Wala? Okay, there's Romeo. Okay. Oliver. Stanley. Okay, majority are already in the food business. So Anna's gonna start. Okay. So something I'll ask all panelists. What does it take to become successful in the food business? Right? Is it the quality of the food? Is it the price? Is it the concept? Is it the location? For you, because not everybody has a same business concept. But when you start a food business, you have to choose, diba? Do I go for high quality food, certain price, or just basta maganda location ko, there's going to be a lot of people coming in here, kahit basic lang. The third is that have a great concept, diba? So, anybody wanna fill in? What for you are the top two most important things? Top two lang, diba? Tama si Jennifer, it's a mix of all of that. But for their specific businesses, what is the top two that made you succeed? It has to be really a mix of everything. Carla, you want to start? Because I
was never a chef. Actually, I started aperitif without even knowing how to cook rice. But now I have two food brands that are doing pretty good. So there's a lot of connections that you can do when starting a food business, and use up all your connections. If you have a good palate, savor that and focus on that. You don't really have to be a chef to be able to start a food brand and a food business. For me, number one, branding is key. Having an exceptional brand and being able to see a brand recognition in your whole product line is very essential. Second is having also a product line that is unique to the market, seeing a gap in the market and filling that gap in the market, and making sure that that product line actually adds value to the market that you want to serve. So for example, even if you choose the mass market or the premium market, what is the value of that brand that you're adding to in that specific market? For example, with aperitif, we wanted to have premium and Instagrammable and super unique cakes and pastries and grazing tables and type of catering. So every product that we put out there kind of breaks the internet and goes viral. At the same time with Pizzulu, we saw a gap in the market during the pandemic that there's no fresh brick oven pizza delivery that, the kind of pizza that you see in Italy, yet in Manila. So that's the gap that we wanted to fill in during that time. So there.
Thanks. So actually, from Carla's perspective, diba, it's market driven. Diba? Yeah. Find the need and fill it. So it's not immediately about the product, but it's about, hey guys, for those who went through our training programs, you know that whenever I discuss this, may konting lecture na rin, diba? So she's coming from a point of view of fill the market, look for the gaps in the market, and then fill it to the need. Because some people start with the product first and then they launch it, right? But Carla's taking the approach, let's find out first what's there. For those who took our design thinking course, go out there and empathize. What does your customer need and want? So that's where Carla did, and then it worked backward. And that's how she operates every time she launches something new, right? But Carla, one of the things that you said that's important is about branding. But how can you build a brand from scratch? Diba? I mean, you're talking about branding is important, but you're starting it. So how do you build the brand from start? Maybe give us a few tips on that.
So in the world of marketing and the world of branding, again, brand recognition is key. So when they think of your product, what do they think in mind? So even with the way, this is what I even told Steffi, how will Lola Nenas become when she's a person? So think of your brand as a person and as your friend, and put that person out there into social media. So social media is a free enterprise to be able to showcase what the character of your brand is. So if your brand becomes a character, how does she talk? How does she eat? How will she look like? What is the kind of TikTok videos that she will do? What's the kind of product line that you will do? So just bringing a brand character to life makes your brand more recognizable at the end of the day. And make sure that this brand character and this brand identity has always been like that since the beginning. If you're going to do a rebrand, you're just going to confuse the market. So studying what your brand character is from the beginning sets you miles apart, and it gives you more clarity as to what kind of messaging you will do, what kind of product line you will do, what kind of ads that you will do, what kind of shoots you will do, because you have that current identity already to begin with.
Thank you, Carla. So she gave us a few tips on branding, and then that's what, so when you're starting out, make sure that you're very clear on your brand, right? Because it's gonna carry you through. Mas lalo na, but sometimes though, I have to say that some people have to change brands, eh. Kasi nga, but that's why it's important that at the onset, you already understand who your customer is. Kasi sometimes papalit-palit tayo kasi we actually don't know our customer and we keep on adjusting. So going to Steffi, you took over. I assume it's Lola Nelas your Lola or your mother or?
Yeah, Lola.
So Lola, so you took over so coming over, you took over a brand, your family business, and then so what did you see, diba? All through the years, what has kept your family business going? So what are the top two most important traits that kept your family business going?
We started Lola Nenas in 2012 actually. So it wasn't it seems like it would be passed down, but it wasn't passed down. So my dad and I started it together in 2012. But throughout the years, we were seeing a change in our market, meaning kung sino ba yung bumibili sa amin, it's been changing. So we have been slowly adapting to our market and really building our brand with that. So like Carla was saying kanina, na it's a bit hard to change your branding because it's a bit confusing to the consumers. But for us, we had to do it because from having commuters as the people buying from us to now it's lahat may car na bumibili and for delivery. So we kind of had to adjust. So one thing that I would say is super important is to be innovative in terms of yung dating gawe is not necessarily the one that you have to stick with. So you have to learn how to adjust to what's now without losing focus, of course, because sometimes there are businesses that lahat na lang, basta kung ano yung uso, let's go there, let's do that. But that you lose focus and you confuse your customers if you do that. And I see that all the time in businesses, especially here in the Philippines. Now, whatever is uso, let's do that, which is not necessarily what you should be doing, in my opinion.
Thank you, Steffi. Actually, a lot of us were forced to pivot during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And which is good because in the pandemic, it really tested how strong your business is, how strong your brand is, how strong your operations is, because the fact that the four of you are here means that you just actually move from strength to strength. Because that's really one of the things that the pandemic showed. And that's one of the things that I guess most of our audience now wants to know. And so, Ria, coming from, among the four, you are the one who really went through food, diba? As in formally, you are a chef, right? Gabrielle, you're not a chef, right? So it's Ria who's talagang trained as a chef and went into the food business. So we'd like to hear your perspective naman from somebody who's really a chef, that if you're entering the food business, what are the top two most important things for you?
Actually, I started as a chef, but I took a different road for a few years. I went into management until I became a food and beverage director for a hotel. Then I found my way back to the kitchen. So I think it was a good mix. I would say, and I agree with Carla and with Steffi also, when you talk about, I think what's important naman with our brand is that we started from scratch. I mean, and we're fairly new in the industry. I mean, in terms of having our own. So I think it's brand authenticity, and you have to also recognize who you are and what's our capability. Now for Fatted Calf and Flower Pot, I am a pastry chef, but I'm not into the fondant cakes, even if everyone is telling me I have to do something really nice with fondant cakes, that's not who I am. And aside from that, I cannot do that. So I have to be authentic, not only to the brand, but to myself. Because when you start something, a business, of course, when you start a business, your mindset is it should be successful to begin with. And otherwise, why would you spend your time doing it? So it has to take you a few years. So when you come up with a business concept, and if you believe in that concept, you have to also think on where will it take you a few years from now. So you have to remain consistent and stick to that brand. And I think for the four of us here, and that's the reason why we're all here, is because despite the pandemic, we stuck to it. And like Carla, of course, she knows that there was a gap and there was a space for pizza. Instead of putting it in aperitif, what she did is she opened another brand. And I think it's the communication and brand. For me, I would also believe that branding is very important to this. But secondly, it's knowing also your core and what you could do. I think at this point in terms of business, ang pinaka-importante kasi here is that when you communicate who you are, you should not confuse your clients that I can do this also, and I'm also this. Otherwise, there will come a point that they will be so confused that they will go somewhere else.
Thanks, Ria. You're cutting out a bit. So the combination of Rihago having the technical background, which is being a chef, and the management is one thing I'll share with everybody. It's really one of the most important things if you want to become start your own business or be an entrepreneur. You need both the technical and the management side. The reason is, it's a big plus to have both the technical and the management side, because then you're able to go to the nitty-gritty details of the product. So somehow, and the technical come from many things. Like in the food business, if you're a lover of food, that's already a technical knowledge. In other words, you cannot be somebody who just maganda magnegosyo sa restaurant kasi, I've seen all of the big ones, diba? From Manam to the different groups, diba? Lalakas nila, diba? Si Jerry's great. Look at how they are. Parang you can't just look at it from a business perspective. You also actually have to have the technical knowledge. And the technical knowledge starts with loving food, right? And so with that, Gabriel, how do you started out with this talagang ano siya, organic, di ba? Dito muna, it starts grow. Kumbaga, a lot of it was it evolved eh. It didn't have this grand plan, you know. Carla starts out with this need, may analysis sila, di ba? And then so you fulfill a need, but you took a different route eh. Parang it evolved, right? So
Yes. So because first, like what I said, we started with jumbo eggs, which then became pandesal, which is pandelitos. And then we later had puto kalashao. And then I started noticing a pattern of Filipino specialties. And so that's why it became Filipinas. It wasn't just any food. It became more of like what the Philippines had. And to be honest, the Philippines is, as we all know, is very rich in natural resources, including food. And I realized that Filipinos have this love for kakanin and for longanisas, and you know, all the different provinces it comes from, they all have something to say. We have like alaminos and vegan lukban longanisa, and each customer would tell us what their favorite longanisa is. Same as for the kakanin, other people would say they prefer the kuchinta, they would prefer like yema tips, you know, Filipino things. So that's how it turned to become Filipinas. So yeah, there's an evolution, but you will start to notice a pattern where people will come back to you for.
like actually, you know what Gabriel's doing is what we do when we teach design thinking, diba? It's empathy mapping. It's always listening to the customer, and then you know, because the one who really determines what we are and what our product is the customer. We might love our product, love it to death, but if we're the only one who loves it, then it's not a business. It's actually just a hobby, right? So you have, the product has to be loved by everybody if you want it. And the way to do that, to have a good product, is actually to keep on listening to the customers. So I'm now going to start
to see where the demand is.
Exactly. So they determine who we are and what we will be. And that's why, you know, it kept on evolving, particularly for Filipinas. So I have to start going into questions. I should shut up now and just ask the questions. And dami-dami na. Okay, by the way, for our panelists, may mga tanong sa inyo. Can you do PR agency work? Yan. So si Philo's asking that. Mary has a rabbit farm. I don't know. You just posted that. Mary, tell us what you're looking for. If you're looking for people who will actually buy your rabbits, say it. So guys, if you want to post any of your food related or you're looking for a network, put it now in the chat. Okay. So let's start with the questions. I'm going to stop talking and then give you guys a chance. Okay. We've addressed the brand. Camille, put yours in the chat, not in the... There. Are any of you thinking po of finding local partners in other parts of the country? O yan, naghahanap ng mga partners. Okay, Ria, Carla, Steffi, Gabriel. Any of you looking for partners in other parts of the country, just say so that they know they can get in touch with you.
Well, for Fatted Calf, we recognize that the business model should be, if not hyper-local, we should really be close to farms. We've received offers even if we just started and opened. But we recognize also that this is a concept that will be hard if we won't be operating it ourselves. However, for Flower Pot, it's we know also that this is the business model where it could be replicated. A lot of malls have approached us already, but I'm not yet ready for that. I have to be brave like Carla, pero ako not yet. So we'll be maybe soon for Flower Pot, but not for Fatted Calf.
Oh, yan. So for Flower Pot, Ria's open. But you know, for you to get to know Ria, puntahan niyo muna yung restaurant niya, si Fatted Calf. Mary Ellen, baka gusto mo maging fatted rabbit. Joke. Diba? Since you do have a rabbit farm, maging fatted rabbit restaurant ka na lang. But anyway, rabbit meat, according to Mary Ellen, is a good replacement for pork or beef. Very good. Okay. So for those looking for rabbit into their restaurants, get in touch with Mary Ellen, who's in the group. Okay, thanks. So, Carla, are you looking for partners now in other parts of the country?
Actually, we are about to do a collaboration with Chef Tony's Philippines, which is a popcorn brand. So we're launching a gourmet popcorn line with aperitifs soon. And that product is actually set to be spread out worldwide. So that is a product that I really want to put worldwide. I can see it. I can see it in Costco, Trader Joe's, especially in the U.S. market. So when that time comes, hopefully we will be looking for resellers across.
Are you looking for resellers or franchisees?
It's probably more of like a distribution network. Yeah.
Okay, so 2022 ba yan? So at least abangan ka ng lahat. Okay, 2022, abangan nyo. Carla is ready to look for resellers. Steffi, yes. How do you are you looking for anybody to work with from out of Manila and all of that?
We're getting a lot of emails for franchising Lola Nenas, but we're actually not there yet. We want to really make sure that our operations are solid and our franchisees will make money before we go ahead and do that route. But if anybody is interested to franchise, we actually have a list. So they can email lolanenas@gmail.com and then we'll put them into a list. So once we're ready, we can go ahead and reach them.
Okay, good. So you posted it in the chat, diba, Steffi,
will.
on how they can get you. Okay, good. So guys, watch out for Carla and Steffi. They'll be ready soon. Alam niyo, crisis pa ngayon, so a lot of people are not really. The fact that they're already expanded during the crisis big enough to franchise you in the ranks. Let's wait for 2022, diba?
Maraming ready to spend money and invest. Actually, they're out there. So
I know, but then you're not ready to franchise yet. So even though they want to franchise,
yung mga tao sila ready sila. Ako hindi pa ako ready.
A lot of people think that just because you have a successful brand, it's actually easy to franchise and do the franchising route. But we've been thinking of franchising also Pizulu for the longest time, and it's not a piece of it's really like you have to go a lot of steps and inventory lines, and you're actually basically turning your brand into a factory of goods so that you can become a franchisor to these.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into that. There's been questions here. I think Edward asked that. Okay, let's talk about the difference between when do you franchise and when do you keep it on your own. So talk about that, the past, so anybody can, because actually not all brands are franchisable, right?
Yeah.
Some brands are better at franchise. Some are best kept as either a owner-owned or at least a joint venture, right? Whatever. So can anybody talk about why you would franchise or why you won't? Anybody wants to add to that?
For example, with aperitif, it's such a bespoke and artisanal brand. So we cannot franchise this because every catering table that we do is actually an art piece. So it's like painting a grazing table on its own. So I don't think franchise, you need the talent and the skill to be able to replicate our tables. And the cakes also, like these are fondant cakes. These are cakes that are a bit artisanal and bespoke. I think the franchise route is when you have a product that can be copied in a factory line. That's the best one, because when you do franchising, the main branch will need to be able to be a factory and serve all the inventory for the franchisees, and the franchisees will order the inventory from the main branch. So it needs to be a product that can be replicated and that can survive a factory line.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else wants to comment on that? There's really a need for consistency when you're franchising. I won't tell you, there was this brand that was so popular. It's a pizza chain from Baguio. It was so successful in Baguio, and then nag-franchise sa kagad. And naging problem, and that's why it's not there anymore, was that nasira yung brand when it franchised. But it's like super, super popular. Pila pa just to go to that restaurant from Baguio. Pero nag-franchise all over, it expanded too much, and then now it's not here anymore. But sobra siyang popular.
One thing that you really need to look at if you want to franchise a brand is the strength of the main company, the franchisor. It needs to be a really magaling franchisor. They need to be able to support all their franchisees. If you have any problems, yung franchisor yung important. So sometimes there are businesses that, kasi it's easier to expand once you franchise, right? But then in your wants to franchise and expand quickly, you don't get to support the people that trusted you with their money. So it's important to really find good franchisors if you do want to franchise.
Thanks. Rhea, you're gonna add to that?
Yes, sometimes when people are introduced to a good product, they approach and they ask, oh, can I franchise? But actually, it takes more than the good product for you to go into it, for you to even consider putting your money into something. You have to recognize, you have to see and check. First and foremost, does the brand have a system already? If they don't, then don't go into it, because it's hard that you will be putting in your money and then that's the only time that the brand will go into preparing the right systems for franchising. It's and you have to also see from a business standpoint, is it really franchisable in terms of replicating? And well, for our case, we cannot, because it's a chef-driven business. So it's hard if you're going to put your name on it, and then when your guests will come and then they don't see you cooking in the kitchen. So I read a question here. Is it good if we think it's better back to go into franchising or start up your own? Well, it really depends on you have to understand and know your strengths. If you feel that you can and capable of starting up your own, then do it. But if you feel that you already have a brand wherein there's already a system and process that you will just have to go through it, then maybe franchising will be the road for you.
That's right. Actually, if I'll chime into that, the very first business that I lost money in was a food business. So that's the time when Denshos and all of these things were starting, all of the sisig craze and this Pinoy drinking places, diba? So I said, at that time I just left Procter & Gamble and I said, hey, I'll start. I was doing another business. I was in supply chain and logistics, and I said, sige, let's join this Denshos craze. So I invested in the food business and it lost money because you really have to know if it's for you. But now, since I like food and I still want to, I like the fact that it brings joy to people, right? That's one of the things I like about the food. Right? So I did the easy route, quote unquote easy route. I just franchised. So I'm a Jollibee franchisee. So yeah, am I happy with it? We are lucky. As you well know, a lot of Jollibee's closed. We are still alive. We're in Angeles. My partner there is Apple the App. The dream kasi ni Apple magkaroon ng Jollibee franchisee kasi if you know him, the Black Eyed Peas guy, di ba? So nung bata raw siya dahil mahirap sila, they only eat Jollibee every Christmas. So parang dream niya magka-Jollibee. Buhay pa ho kami kasi may drive-thru. All the other Jollibees in the Angeles area nagsarado. Kami lang buhay doon. Because of that, nabuhay kami, Carla. Kasi nagsarado yung Jollibee in their area. But you know, it's really tough. But the thing about the franchise, you can franchise if you're tamad. I saw this thing because I don't have time to think of a new concept. I'm gonna go with somebody who already succeeded in a franchise, and then I will, and both people work. But it's a difficult thing to franchise because you're controlled, right? You can't be creative. Gusto kong gawing gusto kong gumagawing hot spicy chicken joy. Ayaw nila eh. No? So, you can't, right? So, diba? So you can't do anything. Well, at least they listen to one of my suggestions, yung buko pie na pie, diba? They listen to that. But beyond that, so kung happy kang ganon, just entertaining people franchise. But then again, at least it lessens the risk. So, there's this question that I think is very relevant from Joel Cabalya, one of our star lecturers who's so busy now. Wala nang oras para sa amin. But Joel, I hope you'll have time. Pag kailangan niyo po ng data analytics, yan, si Joel Cabalya, see him in the chat. His question is, will the the takeout and delivery remain strong even after the pandemic. Mag-iiba ba? Diba? Kasi ngayon, no choice, right? Everything is delivery, takeout. So, anybody from the panel will remember, there's consumer behavior okay, lecture muna, di ba? There are a lot of consumer behaviors that were changed because of the pandemic, right? Suddenly, people had to try online. Try. They tried online. Now, they're not trying online. It has become a habit, right? Because you have no choice. So now, online e-commerce is doing very well because people are forced to. And after a year, it is now a habit. It takes 3 months to make a habit, but it's more than 3 months now. So there's now a habit for people to buy things online. Now, will the change of behavior happen once things are opened up?
I think for us, I would say that even before the pandemic, we've seen already Food Panda. It already started. The concept of cloud kitchen already started even before the pandemic. I think the fast track lang, and based on the business outlook before that, it will take a few years before it will really fly off. It will really take off. But with the pandemic, it was just fast tracked. I think, in my personal opinion, I think the delivery business will be here to stay. Although we've seen that the bakery business of Fatted Calf and Flower Pot is heavily reliant on online. And we've seen a spike in terms of revenue during the pandemic. But now that business is slowly opening up, malls have started to open again, we've seen a little bit of decline in terms of online purchases because people now can go out. But I don't think that it will go away. So it will be, what's good is if you were able to sustain your online business during the pandemic, and now you have your physical store open. So it's something that could actually be beneficial if you're going to protect both sides of the business.
I think that's important that you're going to see a hybrid model supposedly, right? But one of the things, the advantage of RIA now, which I will share, that I think is going to happen is people so stuck in the house, they're looking for experiences. So once things are open, they're all gonna go for, ang tawag dyan, revenge for experiences. Diba? They call it revenge shopping, revenge travel. People looking for experiences. The reason I went to Baguio, aside from a meeting, I brought my parents, who's never left the house since the pandemic. My dad said, nung nata-traffic na ako, sabi ng dad ko, ay naku, traffic. Sabi niya, okay lang yan. I haven't seen traffic in a year and a half, so happy ako. So people, even the traffic for my dad was a great experience, who hasn't left the house. Diba? So,
yes.
So
Actually,
people are going to go after experiences. Yes, go ahead, Ria. The forecast is?
The forecast is destinations will be the first one to recover because people just want to get out of the city. They've been confined for so long. So here at Tagaytay, even if the alert level has been raised to level 3, we're actually busy. And we were surprised that we were busy. We've been full for 3 weeks straight. So,
wow.
And we had to turn down reservations already, or they just have to walk in. Well, because of the social distancing, we had to limit the number of tables. We had to expand and we had to open 2 private rooms for families, and people just want to get out. So that's actually good for us.
Yes. So when I bike from Manila to Tagaytay, dyan ako mag-lunch.
Yes.
But I make sure I reserve 3 weeks in advance kasi nga, punong-puno na si Ria. So, thank you. So, experiences, di ba? So, but you have to protect both the online and the offline. Carla, Gabriel, Steffi, anything to add to that? Where's the thing what's the trend moving forward?
So now we're already in preparation in terms of Aperitif and Pizzulu. Again, I've said a while ago that Pizzulu is about to open a branch in BGC. I know that we've been heavy on Grab and Food Panda, but the branch that we're making there is gonna be heavy on experience. So we're already banking on, the bringing back the bars and nightlife scene, because it might be back in 6 months time, in 8 months time. As for Aperitif, the next move will be going back to events. So what is the new normal way of events, and we're already thinking of strategies on how to slowly come back safe and soundly in the event industry, because we haven't had an event in for a year, or during the duration of the pandemic we haven't gone to any events. So there.
Exactly.
So I think
Events.
it's going to be hybrid, but prepare for not really completely 100% normal, but I think in 8 months time we're going to have the new normal way of living, and everyone would want to have new experiences. Everyone would want to go out. Everyone would want to be able to eat food with their friends and gather. So yeah, so prepare for that too.
Great. Actually, ingit na ingit ako na sa Baguio, di ba? Kasi Baguio medyo normal. So, like the food scene and everything, it's great. So, guys, kung talagang you really want to get out, go to Baguio. It's open. And if you've had 2 jabs, you don't need to get a PCR test. You can enter. So Baguio is a good place. One of the first ones to open up. Of course, open na ang Tagaytay, di ba? So okay yan. But if you want to go further, dumaan na rin kayo sa Bolinao. Kung open ang Bolinao. I don't know if Bolinao. So I've been to Bolinao. Open na ba ang Bolinao?
Our resort is there, Sundowners. Our first
I know,
brand.
but sa pag Bolinao, you look for Carla's Resort. Open na ba ang Bolinao, Carla?
Yes, it's
Okay.
already open, and you just need an antigen test there.
Okay, perfect yan. I've been to Bolinao. I love that place.
So,
Steffi, Gabriel, parang ano na rin natin to, parang pahulin na rin natin to kasi it's ang bilis na oras. You know, so it's already 11:20. We wanted to end at 11:30. Your thoughts of what is post-pandemic, di ba? Is it really more how do you divide online and offline?
For me, post-pandemic is because Lola Nenas is purely takeout. We don't really have dine-in. Right now, we are 30% delivery and 70% pickup. So for us, we're just trying to expand outside of Metro Manila and opening stores there, knowing na magiging around 30% delivery and 70% na pickup. So what we're trying to do now is create a meaningful experience when they do takeout. So parang, paano ba natin bigay yung experience of being in a restaurant but in the comfort of their home? So that's kind of what we're trying to do. So for example, for our donuts, we made this experience of heating your donuts a certain way so that para ka na ring nasa restaurant when you're at home. So there is like a process to do it that now we're trying to teach our clients.
Galing. So what Steph is doing is to bring the experience to the customer. You know, Domino's, when it started, was pure delivery. Domino's Pizza in the States, and they became very big just on pure delivery, just takeout lang. So a pure delivery takeout model works. But again, it's all about the packaging and the experience that you bring to the customer. So Steph is doing great. Gabrielle, your thoughts on what it looks like moving forward?
Okay, so CSI is a store that promotes different provinces of the Philippines. And unlike Rhea's, that she's the chef, we don't cook or we don't create our products. We look for products from different provinces and from different people. So we're also like helping the community by giving jobs to people, by ordering from them. But first, because we're a team, the CSI team, we try each product first and we choose the best among the rest, and then we promote it. And so the customers come to us knowing that it has been tried and tested and that they can be assured of its quality and its taste. So with this, right now we are still, because a lot of people have come to us also wanting to franchise because of the list of products we have. We have like local Cheetos in a way, which is from Doña Maria, things like that. So people are amazed at the products we have. But right now, for those who want to start a business or to it's hard to franchise when you have to make the system steady. You know, you have to make sure that everything is the same and the quality is at par with all the branches. You cannot have one branch better than the other. It has to be the same quality for all, and it has to be all the best qualities. So I would say that to help the community, we can just do our best by providing what's best for now.
Perfect. Okay. You know, if I I can't end this thing now because there's something that I find very interesting that I think I'd like to leave behind to everyone. So I'm gonna do a quick thing, right? So guys, you know what makes all of our panelists really successful is they have a very unique business model. So I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna do this thing very quickly. Can you guys see my screen or not? No? Can you guys see my screen? No. Diane? No. Now can you see it? Panelists?
Yes. Yes, Sir Joel, we can see your screen.
Okay, very quickly. Guys, review lang for those who joined us. This is a business model canvas. You have to make sure that you have it's a business tool to make sure that when you're starting a business that you are complete in your portfolio, okay? So it all starts with what's your value proposition, right? It starts here. As you can see, from Carla to Steffi, Rhea, they're very clear sila on their value proposition. Diba? Carla, what's your value proposition?
For
your product, yeah.
For aperitif, it's to serve premium scale pastries and savory graze boxes and grazing tables to the market. So for Pizul, it's very clear. It's the freshest brick oven pizza delivery in Manila. So it's very clear propositions.
Perfect. Kita nyo, ginawa ko ng class to. Steffi, what's your value proposition? Na-pressure na yung panelist eh. Wait, you're on mute. Rhea and Gabriel, I'm going to ask you both what are your value proposition? What makes you unique? Okay. Steffi, you there?
Hello, we create meaningful experience through our comfort food.
Ayan. You hear that, guys? Oh, who's next? Rhea?
Well, for Fatica, we are a farm-to-table restaurant, takes pride in premium local artisanal products. We are an ingredients-based restaurant.
Galing. Okay. Gabriel?
Our slogan says promoting the Philippines one province at a time. So we are preparing to have one delicacy at least in every province, if not more. And you can be assured that it has been tried and tested and it's the best among the rest.
Okay. Okay, guys, clear. See, the reason the four are successful is because they're very clear on their value proposition. It started, what do you do, right? And from then on, from what do you do, who do you want to help? Who's the customer segment, diba? Who are you addressing? As Carla was saying, she looked for the need and then that's her customer segment. And then how do you reach them? You can see Carla has been using a lot of online. Steph is also a lot of using online. A big one for Rhea actually is a word of mouth. Well, for Gabriel, it's actually because they have branches. So how do you reach them? How do you interact with them? How much will you make? Make sure you have a clear revenue stream. What do you need to be able to expand your business? Who's going to help you? You have your key partners. How do you do it? These are your key activities. And then how much will it cost? So this is your business model canvas. Take a picture of this. So if you're thinking of starting a business, make sure you answer all of these questions in one page. These are the things you have to answer clearly about your business model. Okay. So I just wanted to have a review because most of you have joined our training programs, but we always need something to review kasi sometimes ang Pilipino, unfortunately, is like this. Ready, fire, aim. Yan. Tama? Ready, fire, aim. What we're trying to do by giving everybody a process is to ready, aim, fire, which Carla, Steffi, Gabriel, and Rhea did, especially in a super competitive business, which is the food business. As you well know, what's the stats, Adolf? How many 6 out of 10 close in every time there's a startup for food? What's the stat again?
Yes. 50%. Yeah.
50% of all businesses went to food close. So make sure you're very clear on your business model canvas. And since most of you are from the Thames community, you know that that's what we've been trying to tell you. So I hope it's a review. But guys, I look forward to seeing all of you in our next webinars or live cast, as we call it. Please put your contact details again for the 4. A lot of people look at you as rock stars because you made it through here. Please, they all want to get in touch with you. Please, ilagay nyo po. Ang dami na kasing comments sa chat eh. So ilagay nyo na uli how to get in touch with the 4 of you. So it's on the top of the list. And for everybody, I'll see you again. Huli pala, I have to sell pala something. Sorry. I forgot. I have to also sell. I cannot not get out of this without benefiting from it. Where is that slide? Okay, bottom line like this. Wala na yung slide ko. Guys, kulang pa kami ng estudyante for college. Mag-recruit ngayon. You know, the reason we're surviving is that we became a school for schools. So our customers, the way we pivoted, we started training other schools. But then we still need students. So if you can refer students for college and undergrad, for undergrad and senior high school, we are going to be grateful. It's been a tough year for us schools. We nakafocus kami in helping others. Now we have to help ourselves. So if you want to refer students, can just inquire at thems.edu.ph. Adolf, can you put that there? So get in touch with us. Oh, by the way, if you're having a hard time financially, we have a study now, pay later. So we're also helping out our who's having a hard time. Because I know, negosyo medyo hirap ngayon. So study now, pay later, we also have that. Anyway, thank you for joining us in our community chat. And I hope you're able to network, gain some insights. And I really thank Carla, Steffi, Gabriel, and Ria. Time is so critical now. So for them to have invested an hour and a half with us is a big thing. And with that, guys, stay safe. The future looks bright. Everything's opening up. So we just need the president who will ensure that things keep on opening up and we have a better future. So my last point, let's be active in the election. Please vote based on your principles and integrity, not who's winnable. So thank you very much. See you guys. And thank you again to our speakers. This is Joel Santos signing off. Maraming salamat.
Salamat.
Got to mention, meron pa pala kaming webinar 3. So yeah, July 21.